My name is Natalie, and I have an interview with the band Black Lodge on October 25th, 2013. How long has the band been together, and where are you guys from?
The band has not been together very long. When I put it together, I handpicked everybody, and we started writing everything first before we even started rehearsing. We wanted to get the direction of the sound we were going to go toward locked in first. So we worked on this EP that we just released for the past year, and then our first show was a show for friends at House Studios in Hollywood in June, and then we went on tour. So I'd say we've been together for about a year. Within the past 6 months, after this tour, we've done about 50 dates, and everybody is from lots of different places. The drummer Justin, who I recruited first, is from San Diego, and my singer Gavin is from New York City, and my bass player and backup vocalist Jiro 13 is an LA boy. And then Christopher Royal, who shares the same surname as I do, is from the East Coast, and I was born in Aragon, Spain.
Why did you want to go and call the band what you did?
Well, that name, a lot of people think that it has to do with Twin Peaks. It doesn't really have anything to do with Twin Peaks. I'm a Freemason, a practicing occultist, and an alchemist. So I'm technically, I guess you could say, an American witch. And all of us in the band are a coven, and we all practice a system of magic that's it kind of draws from various elements of the Golden Dawn and Rosicrucianism, Akkadian magic, Sumerian and Mesopotamian Druidism. So Black Lodge stems from the idea that on this planet there are certain places that act as a temple to the divine or the ethereal worlds that are connected to this one. And it's the idea that when you place all the prophets in the house, then you can transport to that place and carry secrets back from the other side to this side.
What type of band are you?
What type of band are we? We're a crazy band. Our music is, I guess you could say it's industrial with hard rock, melodic.
Who are some of your musical influences?
Collectively, it's a band. We're big fans of catchy songs, but catchy songs with like a darkness to them. So, all of us in the band love Nine Inch Nails. We all love Marilyn Manson. Me personally, I grew up listening to bands like The Misfits and Morbid Angel. I grew up listening to like a mix between like hardcore punk and thrash metal, which has influenced my writing. So in a lot of these songs, like Never Clean, for example, that riff is the dun 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 dun. It's kind of like a derivative of like a thrash metal type of riff, but then like breaks out into like just straight ahead, kind of like punk rock parts in the song. So, but then on the other side, Gavin, my singer, he draws from other places. So he's more into like the dark waves and goth, and Justin, our drummer, might be drawing from hardcore music, and Christopher from different elements of also new wave and industrial and rock and roll, and same with Ventura. So we all come from similar places, but they're a little different individually, and I think that's what really makes the sound of Black Lodge very unique. And it's honest.
What are your songs about, and what specific themes do they cover?
So this EP is the first half of our full-length album that's coming out next year. It's called The Diary of the Tomahawk. So there are two levels of what the songs are about. On the top level, the songs carry through a significance toward a chapter in the story. So there are 13 chapters in the story, 13 songs. We're doing 13 music videos. We're also doing a graphic novel, comic book with the Marvel comic artist Wayne Robinson, did Captain America and Wolverine. But the reason why we're doing all these things is that there's an accompanying storyline to it, and that's the purpose of music, which is to bring light and awareness into the world through this medium. So the songs on one level, starting from the beginning, Never Clean, Chapter 1, is about, it introduces the viewer to this young American witch named Tomahawk, and she's descended from a line of witches called the Great Lamia, and her bloodline on her maternal side, on her mother's side, carry this through, and a certain ritual needs to take place in order for her to become the greater adept or initiate. If something happens in her home with her father being taken over by a spirit that he had summoned, so in the first video of Never Clean, you see this struggle and this horrifying thing happens between the mother and the father. Alok runs away. And it also starts with the band. It's the discovery of her journal, and it's us telling her story. So we're invoking her through a seance in the beginning of the video, and there's like a parallel timeline that starts starts happening, like this rift. And she can sense us. She can sense us, and we can sense her, but the intersections haven't come together yet. So the first chapter is about the invocation. The second chapter, Drag, is about the willingness to step through the door. And when this girl, Tomahawk, when this witch steps through the door, then she becomes the greater adept, or she becomes the initiated, and everything changes her. She's viewed with these different powers of perception and physical strength, a lot of these different transhuman qualities, I guess you could say. So that's just to give you an idea of that's that top storyline. And as she goes through the story, the next chapter is Thankful. And within that, there's a further initiation that takes place, and then there's the crossing over. So she crosses over into this dark realm and begins these confrontations with these entities that need to be rebalanced in a sense. So that's on that level. On the other level of it, underneath that, it's a story of love. The lyrics are about not feeling clean or holy in the sense, no matter of how great the love could be between two people. It could be about the idea also that within the song Drag, you have the lyrics, I'll always be the one to drag you down, and it's about the confession of insecurities or abandonment, and it's tackling those ideas that might be within somebody that there's insecurity. So the object of the music is to as many people as possible on all these levels, because we find that a lot of times in music, a lot of people, or they go to music and listen to music to feel better and to experience joy and experience happiness. But some people in the world are looking for answers for things that are identity biblical. So we're working toward creating this commonality of playing within our music and our songs to create a storyline, not just on the personal level of the lyrics and not just on the story or the narrative of the actual concept of the album, but in the balance of it in the middle, about informing people that in order to become who you are meant to be, it's a requirement of balance. So it's walking both in the dark side and in the light side. It's not either or. If you walk just in the dark, that tends toward evil, or Nietzsche, let's say just these dark powers that want to tear you apart. And same thing along the light side, that's you'd have to, the further you get to the light, you have to close your eyes more, so you're living blindly. So it's about striking a balance and walking between the two.
Do you write your own songs, and can you discuss the songwriting process?
Sure. The way the songs begin is I start all of the songs typically with programming a drum beat and laying down a simple guitar melody and then adding in bass. Then Gavin starts pulling in vocal melody ideas. We began collaborating on what the theme of the song is about, expressing how it's making us feel. And then what happens is we bring in, we work with Jordy White, who is an amazing songwriter. He co-wrote and co-produced this EP. So we bring in Jordy. Jordy kind of steers the ship as far as helping structure certain riffs, just an overall vision of where the song could go. We also work with, depending on where the song is going, we also work with, on the writing side, Zach Webb, and also Lee Miles. We've also worked with, on the writing side, Sean Bevan, who co-produced, actually produced and mixed most of the Nine Inch Nails records and the majority of the Marilyn Manson records. And then we've also worked with Johnny Kay, who's simply amazing. He's done Stained and Three Doors Down and served Motorhead. So we have a great team, and we're expanding that team. We always will be expanding that team. Gavin and I are really the core of the writing, and we're very open to working with other people because we want the music to be as best as it can be. But Gavin and I will typically take the song out as far as we want to, or we involve anybody else.
You've just released your EP, of course, but why did you want to go and self-title this one?
Because I think with the record coming out as the Diary of Tomahawk, we didn't want to confuse people, to be really honest. We didn't want to have part one of the Diary of Tomahawk and then part two of it, because it's going to be the Diary of Tomahawk. This is kind of like the, I guess you could say, the prologue. And it's the, it's a taste of what's to come. It's, ultimately this whole thing, as many records as we do for the life of the band, all of it is a corner or a room within the Black Lodge.
You have, of course, mentioned that this EP is the first half of the story, but how would you compare, differ, and say that both parts have evolved and differed and compared to one another?
Well, the comparison is the similarities throughout the whole story are it's this constant struggle of passing through this fire, about the improvement and the character. Tomahawk is our goddess, like our Isis. She goes through these horrifying things and lots of pain, but not to give anything away. But at the end of it, she goes through a transformation. The differences in the songs that you're going to hear, they're going to become quite a bit darker, and the stuff is pretty dark as it is. And when I say darker, I don't necessarily mean heavier. I just mean the seriousness of the lyrical content, the descriptiveness. So it starts going quite a bit darker. But toward the end, it will also strike light.
What's your favorite song on the EP right now?
My favorite song on the EP is Thankful. I think it's an amazing song. And it's something, when you hear the rest of it, it's something that I think with the band, it's unexpected. Because it's got more of a pop structure, but when we were discussing that, it was the idea of taking this pop song and just fucking it up. And we added some industrial elements to it, some heavier guitars, and it that Jordy brought in, and then some
Is it important for you to paint visual pictures with these songs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a, I mean, really, it's a map. Like, you'll see in the music videos, too, there's this map that is consistently referenced. It's like this celestial Akkadian map. But it's the idea of, you know, having the visual roadmap in front of you. So, absolutely.
You had mentioned this earlier. You also have a graphic novel comic book that you have tying into this whole thing. What was it like to work with Wayne Robinson on it?
Wayne is absolutely fantastic. It's taken quite a bit longer than we had anticipated, but it's one of those things where we're like, come on, let's see what's going on. Where's the next chapter? And we've gotten frustrated through the process, to be completely honest. But whenever we do get his pages, when we get the final inks, it's like, okay, it's worth waiting a little bit longer. But he's an amazing artist, and we have chapters 1 through 3 that are on the blackwashband.com website.
Where did this whole idea for the book come from?
It was the idea that when I started putting this thing together, I wanted to tell this story. A lot of my favorite bands growing up were concept artists. Like, Iron Maiden, they didn't necessarily do concept record after record, but, they had this primary character, Eddie, and the rotation of that, and even the Misfits stuff, like, this four scene. So for me, I wanted to incorporate all of those things that I loved as a kid when I was growing up, and put those into this band so that every record we do will be a concept, because it's a telling and an evolution of this our goddess, Tomahawk, which is equivalent to Isis. But the idea of this whole story, it came from a lot of different experiences that I've gone through in my life, from actually practicing magic and witchcraft when I was a kid, a book that I stumbled upon, to different things that have happened in my life with my family and relationships and friendships. So it's a combination of, all of my life experiences and, a continued growing process. And, all the guys in the band, we've all seen our fair share of pretty rough things, but, it was strange. It was one of those things when we all came together, things that we didn't even know about each other. It's like, wow, you went through that too. And then not common things that everybody else has gone through, but it's very strange, unique things, both good and bad. And, so everybody has this part in how this story is going to evolve and what's going to happen. And we're learning a lot from each other, especially being on the road. We're able to, if there's ever an issue, we're able to, talk to one another, and we're best friends. So all of that stuff plays into where this story and this concept came from.
How many chapters and issues will there be altogether?
There will be a total of 13 chapters, and the number 13 itself is significant. It goes into the legend of the Knight Templar, and the next record after the Diary of Tomahawk will be a continued evolution of what's happening to this character. So, this is our baby. It's the brand, and it's going to continue to grow and evolve as we will.
Will you be releasing the comic in physical format as well, or just digital?
It's just the format, limited edition. Everything that we do in physical copies is all limited edition. So, for instance, right now, with the EP, we only are selling 1,000 hard copies of them, and they're all hand-numbered, all signed by the band. It'll be the same thing with the comic book, with the graphic novel. So at the end, people can get a limited edition copy of it, and picking up something from
You guys are currently on tour. How has that been going for everybody?
We actually, last night we played in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Roxy, which was awesome. We love playing out here. We love the people out here. We meet up with Pop People Sunday in Destin, Florida, and we're really excited. I've known the band for a long time, and we're really excited about that.
What can be expected from one of your shows?
In our shows, it's it's also us kind of mirroring what's going on in the magic and the alchemy. And so, from the beginning of the show, you'll see some ritual forms of magic happening, a lot of high energy, and as our production side of the shows increase, a lot of these elements will be incorporated into it. Ultimately, it will be this. It's like a magic ritual, and it's like a festival. It's a celebration of life. So it's a lot of high energy, amazing music. It's good fucking rock and roll.
What do you miss the most from home when you're out on the road?
What do I miss the most from home when I'm out on the road? My bed. Probably my studio. I own a recording studio called The Realm, which is where we recorded at. Just having that, and I miss our friends Jordy and Zach and Lee. But what's great about it is this band, like all of us, are best friends, and so we're together. So we kind of take home with us wherever we go.
Have you noticed the economy affecting your tour attendance or merchandise sales?
No, I think to me that's a lot of that stuff is a bunch of bullshit, because I think it's really about, if someone really loves something, there's this theory in branding and marketing that came out a couple years ago. It's called love marking. Sounds like love making, but it's the idea that in the future people only buy what they truly love. And to me, if you go out and you see this band, I know for myself at least, I go out and see this band, and I really love this band. I only have $10, and that $10 can either get me gas to go home or buy the band's album. I'm going to buy the album. I'm not going to walk home. So I think that, if people really love it, they buy it. And we've been doing pretty well as far as merchandise sales and EP sales go so far.
Do you have any tour stories that you would like to tell?
No, last night was a lot of fun because our friends Brian and Darla, Erica, and Leslie, and all of Nolan, a lot of our friends came out. We had one friend, April, that drove out all the way from LA to come see the show. But we got this little grill, and we were cooking out behind the venue. We made the mistake of letting Ventura trying to cook, and the hot dogs and the hamburgers tasted like charcoal fluid. We have a lot of fun, there's some crazy shit that's happened. A lot of these strange coincidences keep coming up, like the people that we're meeting, it's just about things like connecting to like bands, Black Launch, and like just the name itself, and like these words like tomahawk and ravens, and like all of these things are being connected, and people come to me like, hey, we saw these 3 ravens flying alongside of us for like 10 miles on the way coming here, or we pulled into this gas station, and the gas station was called Tomahawk. And it's just like these really weird connected things, but I think something great's about to happen. I think that I don't know how to explain it, like there's a lot of these experiences on the road, or they're like leading up to something, I feel like. But other tour stories, I don't know if I can go down that path. I might, I'm just going to leave it.
All right, then. What are your plans for the upcoming holiday season?
For the holiday season, I always cook Thanksgiving every year, So, the band, we all have Thanksgiving together, and our close friends. So we have it at the clubhouse, which is where I live. That's what we call it. There's that, and then my family lives in Pennsylvania. So for Christmas, I always go back there every year. And I think this year, Ventura is probably coming with me, and maybe Christopher. So, yeah. Cooking Thanksgiving at the clubhouse and going back to Pennsylvania for Christmas.
And what else can we expect to see from you guys as far as future plans go?
We will, next year the plans are, we're sorry, when you said that, everything starts like filtering through my head. I'm like, we're doing this and this and this and this. But next year, we're going to, our goal is to do 200 shows next year. Literally to live on the road as much as we can and just play night after night after night. So there's going to be that, finishing the record, dropping the record, The Diary of Tomahawk in 2014. We have, there's going to be 13 music videos total, so we have 3 made. We have 10 more of those to make. Finishing the graphic novel, new merchandise. We're getting toys made of some of the characters in the storyline, like Tomahawk and the Great Lamia and the Templar, the Raven. So we're working on toys. Just spreading the word about the music and just playing as much as we can.
And is there anything else you would like to say or add?
Yeah. Rock and roll is alive and well, and I think that this EP is a testament of that. And on behalf of the band, we hope that you give it a shot. You can stream it on the Revolver website, and if you like it, we'd love for you to buy it and keep us out on the road doing what we love to do. And we love all of you. We love our fans. We love our friends. And we'll see you soon.